James says, "Hey guys, my name is James and I'm in my mid-40s. I have a 401k and a Roth. I'm looking to purchase cryptocurrency for some portfolio diversification. I currently use Fidelity for my investing and I'm pretty familiar with their platform. I would prefer to keep using their platform for crypto, but is there a benefit to having a separate platform or even a dedicated cryptocurrency wallet that I should be purchasing my cryptocurrency on? I also have two kids. One is 14 and the other is 16, and I have them both set up on a Fidelity youth investing account so I can teach them how to invest. My older daughter has a job and she's putting in $20 a week into the S&P 500, which means she's learning all about dollar cost averaging and compound interest. But I guess my question really is, should I also be teaching my children about cryptocurrency? Is this something that they should be buying as well? What a great question from James. I'll let Robert kick this one off.
Yeah, I love this question, and I think it's two-part. Let's talk about teaching the kids first. You're already teaching them financial literacy. You're getting them started very early on so they know what VOO in the S&P 500 is. This is critical. What I would do in teaching them, just like you are in traditional finance, get them watching YouTube videos. Get them understanding what is the blockchain, what is the future of cryptocurrency, and why is it important. Cryptocurrency, like the internet, is going to change the way we do things over the next 5, 10, 15 years, along with AI and everything else technology-wise. And I think it's important to have your children understanding what that means. So yes, I totally agree. I would get them started right away. And it can be as simple as finding some good YouTube channels that you like, have them watch some videos. You can select the videos and take a look so you know which ones are going to lead them down the right path and really show them the importance of blockchain for the future. Secondarily, Fidelity. We like Fidelity. I don't use Fidelity. Millions of people do. I think it's a great platform. Yes, you can buy all your crypto there, but you could also look at opening a public.com account, the sponsor of today's show. It is a great platform for buying and selling cryptocurrency, so you could think of that as well. Or Coinbase is probably one of the largest. That is a great platform as well. So you just have to think about what are you most comfortable with, and if it's Fidelity, stick with Fidelity. Do your thing, but always make sure that you're cross-referencing expense ratios. How much does it cost per trade? So you understand what is the best way for the level of investing you're doing platform-wise and which ones are best for you.
And as it relates to educating your children about cryptocurrency, I like how Robert sort of laid that out. I would go about it in a way where you can sort of build upon their existing education, right? So you've already taught them a little bit about the stock market. They understand the S&P 500, right? It's a way to invest in the 500 largest, most profitable companies in the United States. They understand that. They know, okay, I should own equity. I have some ownership in these companies' profits. And then you say, well, there's other things that go up in value over time. There's real estate that goes up in value. And the reason that goes up in value is because of supply and demand. There are things like precious metals that goes up in value because of perceived value, supply and demand, things like that. And there's other asset classes that continue to trend higher over time, right? Making sure they understand the difference between something that goes up in value, like an investment, and then something that goes down in value, like a depreciating asset, like a car or a camper or something like that, a lawnmower. And then you can begin to say, okay, there's another asset class out there called cryptocurrency that goes up in value over time, specifically Bitcoin. It's been around for well over a decade now, 15 years or something. This Bitcoin uses a technology called blockchain. Here's why it's important. Here's why it was invented. Here's how it's used in different types of scenarios. And people perceive it to be valuable. And so this asset class, specifically Bitcoin, has gone up in value X amount of percentage points over the last several years and is perceived and assumed to continue to go up in value as well. If you want your kids to be invested in cryptocurrency and partake in that, I think that's fine. The only worry or concern I have is that cryptocurrency experiences very dramatic drawdowns, right? Bitcoin has drawn down by 50, 60, 70, 80% in a short period of time, several times in the past. And I would be worried that it would cause them to be jaded toward investing, where they say, oh, I invested once and I lost all my money and I don't want to do this anymore. And then they have that as a bad experience they take with them for the rest of their life. Whereas the S&P has pullbacks or the NASDAQ has pullbacks, but it's never a 60, 70, 80% pullback, right? So that's my only concern, is that, make sure they have the right mentality going into this if they are investing in cryptocurrency. But I think at the end of the day, what's most important is that your children are investing into the S&P 500, dollar cost averaging, compound interest, doing all that fun stuff, and setting aside 10, 15, 20% of your older daughter's monthly income from her job and getting that invested on a habitual basis as well.
And I think the best way to look at all of this, and that was a great breakdown, is to understand that if you would have talked about 10 years ago even, that you would be getting into a stranger's car to get a ride somewhere, or you'd have a stranger delivering your food to your home from a restaurant nearby, because then you've got someone you don't know touching and handling your food. As we progress more and more in the financial world, you're going to find that blockchain is incredibly critical for the future because we are becoming a more globalized economy. Having blockchain involved in this and cryptocurrency is very important. We also will see a lot less friction with our money and costs associated with doing wires or doing transfers and all of this. So there's a lot to be learned about the importance of cryptocurrency and the blockchain. And so I think it's great that you're considering getting your kids involved, and anyone out there that has children that are listening, getting them to understand why it's important, where it's going, because it will be part of school curriculum sooner than later. So it's important for everyone to get ahead of it.
And the last point here, and this goes beyond cryptocurrency, this can be anything. Literally just go to ChatGPT and say, explain to my 14-year-old daughter how ABCXYZ works, and give examples and explain it to them as if they were younger and like they're not as technical as adults might be. Like, use artificial intelligence to your advantage, again, beyond cryptocurrency, to try and learn anything. Learn a new language, learn a new skill, learn anything. These things are free resources.